Saratoga meet. Get ready, everybody. They're about to break. And they're off at Saratoga.
We're off to the races, powered by the Racing Biz, your independent voice for racing and breeding in the Mid-Atlantic. On the web at theracingbiz.com. On the radio, on ESPN Richmond, it's Off to the Races. Here's Nick Hahn.
It's Boutique Meat Week. You heard John Embriel introducing the opener at Saratoga on Thursday, and this is Bing Crosby. Let's listen to Bubba Bing for a little bit.
And the winner in each race, where the turf meets the surf at Del Mar.
Opening day at Del Mar yesterday. Good to see a friend of our show from years back, Kent DeSormo, get a winner out there. And, of course, opening day at Colonial Downs is just 2 days away. Thanks for spending your Saturday morning with us on Off to the Races. I'm Nick Hahn, and actually broadcasting live here at Colonial Downs. You know, it gives me chills to hear John Embriel, and you still need a few chills, but we've looked at to the weather forecast for the first 6 days of racing, and I'm thrilled to report 5 of those 6 days, the forecasted high temperature begins with an 8. That is so good to hear. So we hope that forecast holds up, and just thrilled about racing returning to Virginia. And so is Daryl Wood, who joins us on Off to the Races out of the gate this morning. Good morning, Daryl.
Good morning, Nick. And I thought the reason you had chills is because the air conditioning is so good up there in the dining room area where you're based.
It's very refreshing after a morning like this morning. Daryl,
toasty.
I mean, the 3-day cards were just when the opening card came out, opening day card came out on Thursday. I mean, just excited to see some of the horses and some of the trainers, and of course Florent Giroux coming in these sheets. Through the first 3 days, this resembles Colonial of old. This is the heart of the meet, on the turf with full fields. I'm sure racing officials at Colonial are delighted with what hit the entry box the first week of the meet.
Yeah, John Marshall, who's the vice president of gaming up there, asked me the other day, he asked if this is the best card or the best year that I've seen since I've been there since '98, and I think it's right there. Nick, you may know as well too, or better, but I'd say it probably is right there with that when the Turf Cup and the Virginia Derby were $1 million and the Grand Slam of Grass era. But this might be even a touch better. It's very exciting. 111 horses drew in the entry box for opening day's card. That's just covering 9 races, so the fields are going to be strong. 6 of them have got 13 horses or more. Should be a bettor's, handicapper's delight. As for fans coming out to the track, general admission is free. Got a Secretariat T-shirt giveaway for the first 1,000 people. Like you said, the weather is looking ideal for Monday, so hoping a lot of folks planning to take a vacation day, if not on vacation already, or at least come up for an extended lunch or early happy hour and enjoy what should be a real festive chance to welcome fans back, especially after last year's COVID shortened meet.
I broke into the prize box, the prize closet. There are now 995 T-shirts left, just so you know. But
hopefully you took a small.
Daryl, we got a full slate in front of us. Glad you mentioned the promotions. Just on the show today, we got Karen Dennehy-Godsey, Michael Stidham, Ferris Allen, and Michelle Level all in front of us. We got Frank Vespi just around the corner. So very excited about the meet. I'm looking forward to opening day, seeing everybody here, and just wanted to get maybe a quick thought about opening day and expectations.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anybody knows what expectations are as far as attendance and handle. I will tell you, I listened in on the conversations Dave Lermont had, the head of the Racing Commission, with the simulcast director at Delaware Park. And Delaware, as you know, races Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday around that time frame. And when that simulcast director looked at the Colonial Downs card for Monday, he says, "Oh my God, that's a $4.5 million handle card." Probably not going to get to that, but it's the best out there on Monday, Tuesday, and then to go back and forth with Saratoga Wednesday. So pretty good expectations for the meet, and hopefully it is fulfilled.
Yep. Daryl, we'll see you Monday. We got to keep going.
You got it, Nick. Have a great show.
Great. Daryl joining us quickly on Off to the Races. Frank Vespi just around the corner on Off to the Races as well, as he will be interviewing the racing secretary. We're into the show. We haven't even mentioned it's Haskell Day up at Monmouth today, and he'll have John Himes, the racing secretary, in mere moments on Off to the Races. The Haskell featuring basically a renewal of the Louisiana Derby from earlier in the year. Mandaloon, who eventually could be put up as the Kentucky Derby winner, running in the Haskell along with Hot Rod Charlie and Midnight Bourbon in a 7-horse field on a great card. So I'm just everything opening up in horse racing all almost simultaneously. I'm going to reach out to Frank here on Off to the Races. Good morning.
Hey, Nick, what's shaking?
Boy, it's there've already been a few surprises here at Colonial this morning. I'll mention this later in the show. By my standards, happened to be out on the track working 6 furlongs, so that was a little bit of a shock to see a dirt horse of Brett Calhoun's here working out in preparation for Saratoga. But you have a great guest lined up, great Haskell card on the shore up there in New Jersey at Monmouth Park. Go ahead and take it away.
All right. Thank you, Nick. Going to be joined here by John Himes. John, we're hearing from James. We don't quite have John Himes yet. So, Nick, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at that Haskell card, but there's some great races. I mean, looking forward to the Haskell, of course, with the runners-up of the 3 Triple Crown races, plus following C. But also the United Nations, another grade one on the turf. It's got Arkla. What a cool horse he is. He's won graded stakes 5 years in a row. And Tribhuvan, who he looks for all the world like Precious Passion to me, a horse that just goes for it out of the gate and goes as long as he can.
Man, we try not to get too far ahead of ourselves here at Colonial, but wouldn't it be great if they had a long race on the turf for older horses at somewhat this level? That would absolutely attract a horse like Arklow, who's running in the United Nations today. Also at Monmouth, earlier on the card, the Monmouth Cup, New York Traffic, a horse that is probably the most successful Virginia residency horse running in the Kentucky Derby. That horse is making a start in the Monmouth Cup for Spencer Young, who was a caretaker of that horse up in Barbersville, Virginia, and of course ran in the Derby last year. So they have an excellent card at Monmouth today.
Yeah, you wrote about New York Traffic for the RacingBiz.com last year, and a lot of traffic for that story. A lot of people were really interested in his story. So fun to see a horse like that, a Triple Crown hopeful that sort of detours, but finds a new career on the turf. So looking forward to seeing him run as well.
Yeah, and then going back to the Haskell here, only a 7-horse field, but we said all spring that the Louisiana Derby was the best prep, and we'll find out more about this 3-way duel as it's shaping out to be, maybe 4 if you throw in Following C with Mandaloon, Hot Rod Charlie, and Midnight Bourbon.
All right, I'm told John Himes is with us now, so let's jump into this interview. John Himes is the racing secretary at Monmouth Park. He's also he's a guy who wears a lot of hats. He was the head of PR, might still be the head of PR for all I know, and racing secretary. He does a lot of jobs there and does them well. John, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us this morning. Let's kind of just start with how things are. I understand there's some weather around Oceanport. How are we doing at the track today? Are we going to be okay?
Oh, good morning. Yeah, it's fantastic. I was just outside. It is a little warm, but it's actually beautiful out, not a cloud in the sky, and hopefully it stays that way. And I think I saw some possible rain showers quickly later in the day, but let's hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, no, we keep our fingers crossed. It's, the late Rich Glazier used to say it never rains on Saturday at Delaware Park, and let's hope it doesn't rain on Saturday at Monmouth Park as well. Now, for folks who maybe haven't been paying super close attention to Monmouth this year, the big story out of Monmouth has been this ban, essentially a ban on the use of riding crops. Is it for a handicapper who's just going to tune in today, or is this anything they need to think about?
I don't think so. I mean, even when we started from day one, it seemed as if it was still an even playing field in terms of if everybody can use them, it's an even playing field. If nobody can use them, it's an even playing field. On top of that, you have closers, and believe in the opening weekend, it was all closers, and then it was speed the next week. It doesn't seem to make an impact that way. It'll just be different to watch because you're so used to watching somebody go to the stick, but you can't, you're not going to see it here, that's for sure. And it's a vigorous hand ride. That's what you do, and you motivate them the same way you would motivate a horse otherwise. And thankfully, we had no incidents so far.
Oh, let's keep our fingers crossed that continues. That's certainly good news. What kind of atmosphere? This is going to be your first Haskell back after COVID. What kind of atmosphere are you guys expecting today?
It'll be nice. Thankfully, heading back towards normalcy. We had a lot of ticket sales. Obviously, last year we were capped on the number of attendants we could have, and it was a very low-key type event in terms of the on-track buzz. But this year there's definitely a buzz around the race. There's definitely going to be a crowd here, as we expect. There is a traditional Haskell hat giveaway that goes with this, and I think we put together a pretty nice 14-race card.
Yeah, no, you sure did. And before we talk about the card a minute, what color is the hat this year?
Blue.
Okay. I think I got a green one from a couple of years ago when I was there. But
yes, no, this one is the exact thing in blue. So.
Okay, so the Haskell hat giveaway should be a great day at the Jersey Shore. Let's talk about the Haskell, John, to start with. You got really good. I know you guys often have the Derby winner. You love to have the Derby winner, of course. It's great publicity and exciting for the fans, but this is a pretty cool race. You got the runners-up from all three Triple Crown races in Mandaloun, Midnight Bourbon, and Hot Rod Charlie. And then throw in Following C, who has just obliterated the field in his last two races. You got a really interesting race you put together here.
Yeah, and typically when you look at this race, there's usually, as history has shown, you usually get one overwhelming favorite type thing, and odds on, maybe even a 3 to 5 type horse. This year, I don't think you're going to see it. It looks like Hot Rod Charlie is going to be the favorite. He is on the morning line, but I think you can make a case for the 4 horses you mentioned, and I'm still not discounting any of the local horses either. I love the way Anti-Gravity's come along on our track. I know they were looking at a turf race down the road, and they said, we're going to take our shot here. I know Greg Sacco loves his chances. He knows he's a long shot. He knows it's completely outside, but he loves the way his horse is training, and the Jersey bred. I'm a huge Jersey bred fan, having owned Jersey breds and bred Jersey breds. I would love to see him suck up and get a piece of it as well.
Yeah, the Jersey bred picking time for Roseland Farm Stable, a son of Stay Thirsty, trained by Kelly Breen. Yeah, that's a horse. He's sort of an interesting horse, I think. He showed a lot of promise early in his career, and it's gone maybe a little bit sideways since. I haven't talked with Kelly about him. Does he feel like this horse is coming back to what he showed?
I think so. I know the owner quite well, and he's participated in this race. He had this Tyrant Has Class a few years back, and he breeds some very nice horses, Valedictorian being one, Stay Smart, a Jersey bred another, and he's got some great horses that he breeds here in New Jersey. This is just another one. But, yeah, I know Kelly, they were even considering at one point, I think, running him in the Riley as a prep for this, a 6-furlong sprint, and then moving from that over to this. They wound up skipping that and just giving him a work. But I know they're happy with where they are, and I know they're high on their horse.
All right, so that should be interesting. Now, Mandaloun won the Pegasus over the Strip on June 13th. Do you feel like having a start over the Strip, do you feel like that's an advantage for him maybe as compared to some of the other major contenders?
I don't know. It certainly can't hurt, that's for sure. This started when Brad and I talked, I'm going to say even pre-Belmont. He told me that his target was the Haskell, and then he texted me maybe a few weeks before and said, we're going to come in the Pegasus too. I thought that was great. They wanted a race over the track. They want to get the horse acclimated. I know he schooled yesterday here. It looks fantastic. They've been pointing to this race for quite some time, and usually when you pick something out on the calendar and you plan for it and do everything you can to get to this one spot, usually it's to your advantage anyway.
Talking with John Himes, Racing Secretary at Monmouth Park, hosting the Grade 1 $1 million Haskell Stakes later on this afternoon. And one race before that is the other Grade 1 on the program. That is the United Nations going 11 furlongs on the turf. And two horses. This is a cool race, I think, John. And two horses that are really just, I think, sort of fun horses. One is the favorite, Arklow. He's 8-5 on the morning line. He's won graded stakes 5 years in a row. I didn't even know that was possible anymore.
No, he's a really cool horse, and I'm glad that he's going to run here with us. He was one last year that I believe had he came in off a week's rest. He didn't fire in the race before he ran in the UN, and then Brad said he was going to run him right back, and he did. Another cool horse. He arrived here, almost a week and a half ago, and has been training here. I mean, it is a nice race. I mean, this is a race that when you're a Grade 1 and money was tight and we're putting up $300,000, it's hard to keep that grade with just such a short purse. So this is a race that, not knowing where the Arlington Million's going or the Arlington races are going, I think we're going to invest some money into this race in the future and try to build it back up to where it used to be. It used to be $750. And I remember I worked down in Atlantic City when it was run down there as the Caesars International. And this race has always been one of those top turf races, and we're going to do everything we can to get back there. And I think this race this year, it's certainly putting us on the path to getting back to where we think this race should be.
Yeah, for sure. And talking about Arklow, he's also a horse they added blinkers to 4 races ago, and he's won 3 out of 4 since and ran actually pretty well in the Breeders' Cup Turf. But that's good news. I'm excited to hear that you guys want to get this race back to where it was, because I think it's a great race and it's still a great one. I'm not trying to discount that in any way, sure. But I think when you look at this from a Grade 1 perspective, perhaps it's not where we'd like it to be in terms of the fields. And to this year, I think in particular, is turning the corner, and we're moving back to where we want to be with this race. And we'll probably invest even more in it next year. We moved the purse from 3 to 500 this year, and next year maybe we'll do something even more. Maybe put together some kind of a bonus system. Maybe look to get some European or some foreign runners in there. I mean, it is called the United Nations, but nonetheless, we should maybe invest a little bit in this and try to make it a little more international. Do you think it'll remain on the same day as the Haskell?
To be determined. We did it last year when we had the shortened season just to see, and we didn't really have a choice. We had to put the schedule together, and we had an original schedule and then the COVID schedule. Maybe we'll see how it goes this year and then play it from there. I mean, I don't think it hurts, that's for sure, in terms of, I don't know, maybe we wouldn't get a couple of these trainers who are now coming for another race. You put another one on the van and you just say, okay, let's go for it here. So my first instinct would be yes, but I don't want to commit to that.
Sure. Understood. Now, one other horse I want to flag here in the United Nations is Tribhuvan. He's going to be breaking from the 10 hole for Chad Brown, Flavian Pratt. And I just, I went and watched his Manhattan, and I looked at that and I said, this horse reminds me exactly of another horse who loved Monmouth Park, that being Precious Passion.
Oh, Precious Passion. That horse was awesome. Mary Hartman was the trainer. The Generazio's horse would open up 20 and just do whatever he could to hold on. I mean, everybody just thought he was a fluke, and he'd go out there and then he'd stop, and he didn't. So, I mean, he was a cool horse to watch.
Oh, he was tremendous. He almost won the Breeders' Cup Turf, and he won the UN twice.
Yeah, we got a race later this year, the Precious Passion Stakes, at 1.5 miles. So something as a little tribute to that horse that I think a lot of people liked.
Yeah, no, he was a lot of fun. And Tribhuvan is a little bit similar. I mean, he went out, set fast fractions in the Manhattan, and stayed on pretty well. He was second. He was beaten by domestic spending, but a lot of horses are beaten by domestic spending.
Yeah, no, it's going to be another good rendition of the UN. I mean, it's an exciting – the whole card is exciting. I think the Monmouth Cup, we got Dr. Post and New York Traffic. They were second and third in last year's Haskell. They're back in against each other today. The Bali Pitcher is interesting. I think all our races. I mean, there's one horse, the Turf Sprint, is going to be a very short price, but the Critical Way, I mean, he's targeting the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. I mean, that horse is going to be, he is something, but I think they're looking for big things down the road from him.
All right, John. Any tips you got for the betting public that is going to be getting involved today?
No, I don't make selections. But I mean, I think I love the race we put on this year for the Haskell. I think there's so many. I mean, the the Hot Rod Charlie story is fantastic. Those guys have been great. They're going to be here with a nice contingent to watch their horse, and it looks like they're having a lot of fun with it, which is so important, so nice to watch. So.
All right, good stuff. Looking forward to the UN Haskell, and I believe a total of 5 graded stakes on the Monmouth Park card today. John, congratulations on putting together a great card, and good luck to you and all the folks up at Monmouth Park this afternoon.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Sure thing.
Take
Nick,
care.
we'll kick it back to you. That was John Himes from Monmouth Park. Great day at the Jersey Shore coming up today.
Yeah, the spotlight track today and just a busy racing calendar. Thanks, Frank, for lining that up, getting us a live report from Monmouth Park this morning on Off to the Races. We have Karen Dennehy-Godsey around the corner on Off to the Races here. Want to speak with her. We kind of lined up a lot of different trainers this morning from different backgrounds. Local trainers showing up at Colonial Downs for the first time, just a kind of a wide array. We're going to try and slot them all in here. Eagle Point Farm, of course,
Hey, Tim,
up in
what's up?
Ashland, Virginia,
It's
is
Frank. No, this is Frank.
yeah. So Eagle Point Farm up in Ashland, Virginia has.
Who are you, are you trying to get Karen Godsey?
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I think I.
Sorry, Dave.
Let me tell you what.
I'll see if I.
I tell you what.
Is this your cell number?
Let's try and move to Michael Stidham, James, if you're picking up on that, and I'll try and shoot you a number here for Karen in the interim. But yeah, just trying to line up a couple different trainers here on Off to the Races. Just to give you a little bit of background, Eagle Point Farm up in Ashland, I mean, when Colonial Downs reopened up in 2019, when they opened back up in 2019, one of the more memorable wins was with What to Beep on opening day. Such a meaningful win for Karen Dennehy-Godsey, just memorable, and just the emotion that came with winning a stakes race at Colonial. It was like one of the biggest wins of her career. And that, along with the residency program, has led to really a flourish of business up at Eagle Point. But in the interim here, wanted to line up Michael Stidham, who was the leading trainer in 2019 and 2020 here at Colonial Downs, a 2.0 edition, and he joins us now on Off to the Races. Michael Stidham had a chance to just kind of walk your shed row a little bit this morning, 2 days in front of the meet, and not to say you couldn't win the trainer title this time, but I just have a feeling it's going to be a little more challenging. Tell us your thoughts about Colonial Downs 2 days away, and just your thoughts of the meet.
Well, I mean, we're always excited about the meet. We've run a lot of horses over the last couple of years there. We've been very successful, so we're looking forward to it. And I do agree that this year is going to be a little different as far as the competition goes. I think you're going to see more of the Kentucky trainers shipping in to run for these really big purses. And, it's just going to be, a little more competitive. So we're still up for the challenge. We're going to run as many as we can, and hoping to have a big meet.
Mystic Guide gave you such a big win in Dubai. We were able to catch that race shortly after, maybe even before we went on the air. I remember it was early in the morning, of course, as we hear these races in Dubai. A little bit of a setback and first start back in the U.S. Maybe give us an update on Mystic Guide.
Well, right now it's a little bit up in the air what the next step will be. We'll kind of see where we go as far as what the next race would be. But right now, it could be the Pacific Classic or waiting for the Jockey Club at Saratoga. But we're undecided about what we'll be doing, as of right now with him. But, we were excited about winning the World Cup. It was a huge victory for everybody involved. The horse went out there and, really showed his class and ability. So we were excited about that.
What do you, with racing coming back off of COVID, there's such a flourish of racing. I mean, how do you keep track of like where all your horses and just the different opportunities that you have to race? It's just kind of rapidly become, after racing it kept going all the way through COVID, but not with fans being back and just so much more opportunity as the handled numbers come back. Just kind of thoughts about. Geez, what do you do in the next week or two, 10 days or so?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I have some really good assistants, Hillary Pridham and Ben Trask, that are constantly helping me with looking at about 7 or 8 different condition books. On any given week, we're running in usually 4, 5, 6 different states, being, Maryland, Delaware, New York, and multiple different spots. So it's one of the challenging things that we have to deal with. And then on top of that, you have races where you get in and then they come off the turf and you have to scratch and look for another spot. And you have races that don't fill. And then you have to start looking at extras at all those different tracks. So, believe me, it's a challenge, but it's a good problem to have, because it's not like you're in California where you only have one track to look at. So we've got multiple different racetracks that we can run our horses at, and it gives us more options.
I see in just the first 3 days at Colonial Downs, 5 races, 4 maidens. So it's an opportunity that Colonial offers with maidens has certainly caught your attention, even on the dirt.
Oh, without a doubt. The maidens are running for $50,000, and those are good purses. And we're bringing out our first 2-year-olds at Colonial, and we're excited about that. We got a barn full of 2-year-olds, a lot of them from Godolphin, and some really well-bred horses that we're anxious to get to the races. So we're going to kick it off with a couple at Colonial the first week.
Great. That's Rambart, Sundar, Gina. Polio is a winner already, and then Uncle Ken. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Gina is actually a half-sister to Mystic Guide. How
about that?
Yeah.
So one to really kind of put on your stable mail and follow, because this is a horse, as Mystic Guy is, maybe follows his lead, and we're certainly hopeful of that coming out of Colonial. Well, Mike,
sure.
Thanks for spending some time with us. We're looking forward to seeing you during the meet, and good luck during the meet trying to get your 3rd training title here at Colonial.
Absolutely, and thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Great. Michael Stidham joining us on Off to the Races. A little bit of a mix-up on my part, but we're going to reach out to Karen Dennehy-Godsey here to follow Mike. And as I mentioned, just in the lead-in, she has a couple of horses. One horse here, T in China, is we were hoping maybe this horse would run opening day, but I talked to her a few weeks ago, and we think this horse may run a little bit later in the meet. And certainly Eagle Point, hometown, part of that Ashland enclave up there that has some success. Now Karen now joins us on Off to the Races. She's been everywhere this morning. I've seen her on the track. I've seen her behind the starting gate. I saw her on the backstretch. I haven't seen her standing up. She's always been sitting on something, and she joins us now on Off to the Races. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Good morning. 2 days in front of a meet here that is going to be really kind of an opportunity for Colonial. Makes it a little bit tougher for you to find that winner's circle, but as they say, optimism is a horse in the starting gate. Tell us about your thoughts and maybe a couple of shooters you have for this upcoming meet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a bit, tougher for us local folks, but we do have some of those Virginia restricted races that we can run in. The open races are going to be pretty tough. But a lot of my clientele have these, Virginia certified or Virginia bred horses, and we're going to be looking for a nice, easy spot and hopefully one that's Virginia restricted to take advantage of, our hometown track for that money. So.
Want to bring up a horse I mentioned earlier. What the Beep really kind of was a horse that, launched might be not the correct word, but certainly a big mover and shaker in terms of your training career. Tell us just what that win 2 years ago meant to you on opening day.
So I mean, that was obviously sentimental for so many reasons. One was that we were shut down for so long, and we finally were able to run at Colonial Downs again, which none of us were sure whether that would happen. Secondly, I'm not based at a racetrack all the time. I'm the guy at the farm that's breaking babies, getting them started for the rest of these guys to win the money with. And then thirdly, she's a homebred fourth generation. And her dam was my first winner as a trainer. And, we were always excited that we could win a $5,000 race, but to win a $100,000 stake with your homebred, I mean, we work pretty hard and we try to always do right by our horses. So to be able to bring that money home and to have that was extremely special. I mean, it was awesome to win a race with any horse, but to win a race with one that you bred and that you've had their whole life and a lot of their generations of those horses was you don't get much more special than that.
From the time the meet closed to now, you did lose one of your favorites, and maybe your favorite flat out with Toccoa. Yeah. Maybe just a thought about that.
Now you're gonna make me cry. That was Beep's dam. Now you ruined my interview.
That's okay. We know what that horse meant to you. I just wanted to maybe give you an opportunity.
She taught me a lot, and I was just a kid getting started, and she was a tough mare, and always tried, just gave 100%, and that's all you can ask out of these guys.
Yeah, it's great to hear. I mean, these horsemen have heart. It's not all about the money, and that's very clear with Karen. So, Karen, thanks for joining us. Good luck throughout the meet, and we look to see you in that winner's circle multiple times. Hope that works out, and good luck on the meet ahead.
I'm looking forward to the straight Virginia bred stakes at the end of the meet, so I'm holding out.
Great. Karen Dennehy-Godsey joining us on Off to the Races this morning. Appreciate it. We're going to take our first break on Off to the Races. When we come back, still ahead, Derby Bill, Ferris Allen, and Michelle Lovell. We'll try and get them all in before we hit the top of the hour. You're listening to Off to the Races on ESPN Radio.
Are you the type of person that values hand-built quality? Do you shop with local businesses because you know your purchase supports your neighbors? Or maybe you research before making a purchase because you know better than to trust the marketing hype. If any of this sounds familiar, you just might be an Original Mattress Factory customer. At OMF, we value our amazing customers and work hard to exceed their expectations every day. Visit an OMF store near you or originalmattress.com to learn more.
You took an antacid, and now your frequent heartburn's back. Stop heartburn before it begins with Prilosec OTC. Its unique delayed-release formula blocks heartburn at the source for 24 hours, so you can extinguish heartburn before it starts. Make the switch to Prilosec OTC today and live heartburn-free. Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day. 24 hours. Zero heartburn. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
Get savings on Pro Essentials at the Lowe's Just for Pros event going on now. Save on select appliance special values. Plus, save an additional $50 when you buy 2 or more appliances, each priced $396 or more. Find more savings throughout the store at Lowe's, the new home for pros. Must ask cashier to apply discount in store. Online must use promo code. Can't be combined with any other discounts. See Lowe's.com for exclusions and terms. Valid 7/15 through 8/4. U.S. only.
In 2007, Marine First Lieutenant Travis Manion was killed in Iraq after saving his wounded teammates. Travis's legacy lives on through the 5 words he spoke before leaving for his final deployment. If not me, then who? Words that today fuel the spirit of Travis Manion Foundation. Words that live in veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians who go out of their way to find a way, who help others with the help of others, who bounce back after each setback, who make good on good intentions. Through Travis Manion Foundation, if not me, then who, are words that can live in you too. Show the world what your character is made of, because character is invisible until it's not. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans, families of the fallen, and inspired civilians at travismanion.org. That's travismanion.org.
Still undecided about what college to attend? Still looking for a big-name university without the big college debt? Now more than ever, where you begin your college journey matters. Seize your potential at Richard Bland College of William & Mary. Apply now at rbc.edu.
In the wake of a disaster, what one thing can you send that will help people the most? A blanket, a tent, a sandbag, a doctor. Actually, if you send a monetary donation, you send all these things. Even a small donation can make a big impact and can quickly become exactly what people affected by disaster need most.
In the wake of a hurricane, your monetary donation can make a huge difference to those in need. To donate, visit supporthurricanerelief.org. That's supporthurricanerelief.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Richmond's news source for the most local sports talk and play-by-play.
You guys are the #1 sports station.
106.1 ESPN.
That's Ken Freezone. Or is it Friesen? Freezone? Usually at the high top table on the paddock side on the first floor of Colonial Downs is where you can see him. We'll have to ask him how to pronounce his name himself. I'm sure he'll be one of the attendees on opening day here at Colonial Downs as we're back on Off to the Races, and just a full slate here, kind of a trainer blitz, introducing some new trainers to Colonial Downs. One of them is Michelle Lovell, who had an opportunity. I've talked to her by phone and I've waved to her from afar, but haven't had a chance to meet in person yet, but can't wait to do so. Michelle joins us on Off to the Races. She is shipped in from Kentucky as the situation there with the track repair is forced the backside at Churchill Downs to be vacated. So their loss is our tremendous benefit, and Michelle joins us on Off to the Races this morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
First off, just want to welcome you to Colonial Downs, welcome you to Virginia, and the question I just love to ask people when they first arrive, especially experienced horsemen, is just what are your thoughts about this facility? Though it be off the beaten path a little bit, I'm just kind of trying to pull out maybe just your thoughts on your first view of Colonial.
It's a really nice facility. I've been really happy with the. Honestly, they've been very welcoming. It's been a plan in the works for a while, knowing that turf course was going to be redone at Churchill. So the racing secretary, Allison DeLuca, and obviously Joe Byrne, they've been very, very helpful in helping the horsemen, feel comfortable and at home, and like they really want a good race meet. So, barring that, getting here, the facility is very nice. It's clean. The track itself, the dirt course is really nice. It's been in great condition, and I got the opportunity to breeze two of my best horses on the turf course last Wednesday, and it was unbelievable. It's like a carpet out there. So, yeah, the facility's nice. The barns are clean, and they're just super helpful here, getting us all settled in. So, yeah, I'm very happy with it.
I looked at the first race on the card, and it took me about 55 minutes to handicap it, and I realized I got to pick up the pace in terms of the tip sheet. And one of the horses that I landed on was balling on a budget, who I was surprised, because I always handicap before I look at the morning line odds, was something like 12-1 in the morning line. You have 3 starters the first week at Colonial. Tell us a little bit about, just your thoughts on the first week.
Well, yes, we do. We entered a few more, and the races didn't go, unfortunately, for us. But yeah, we've got 2 in on opening day, and then 1 in on Wednesday. So that's a good, nice little start. We're happy with what we got in, and we should have fun. I mean, we're in the first race, so we get to check it out early.
Yeah, we'll be watching certainly to see what happens in those races, to see where the bias may finally end up, if there is any, here on these 2 surfaces. Want to talk a little bit about your background. You got your start in horse racing through kind of an odd means, if I'm reading the internet correctly. You got your start having your picture taken on a pony. Is that actually truth, or is that fallacy?
No, actually, that's where my love for horses began, is getting my picture taken. When my family and I was born and raised in West Palm Beach, Florida, so we lived in the city, and some little man used to come around the neighborhoods and bring a pony with him and a little cowboy get-up and take pictures. And so, yes, my mother has those pictures still, but that was the beginning of it. And from there, I just begged for a horse every Christmas and every birthday. Didn't get one because we live in the city. So, that is a true story.
Just with the cast here, it's so many new shooters, so many people coming in from Kentucky, even Maryland, with the situation here. What kind of, do you set goals? Do you just kind of let the horses do what they can? What kind of objectives do you have for this meet, other than win every race?
Yeah, of course. We want to, trying to place them well. It's just, I had a couple of choices with my horses, and I decided that this would be the best opportunity for me. I have mostly turf horses. I'm usually gifted with those kinds, with the breeding, and we always try them on the turf. And so that was a great opportunity. And I know that the race secretary, she said that she's definitely going to try to write some dirt races and make more dirt races, carded. And with, the influx of other horses, a lot of us, I think there's probably 4 or 5 different outfits with maybe 20 horses or more that came from Kentucky. And, of course, they brought dirt horses, too, so that's good. But I think it's going to be a tougher meet probably than it has been in the past. Maybe a few more quality horses. So it's not going to be easy to win races. So my goal is just, I always try to keep my horses happy and healthy, and ready for a race. So that's just my goal, is just try to place them well and get our feel for our competition here, and hopefully have a good meet, and be able to leave here, have won some races and making some owners happy, because it was a big move for us. It's only 2 months away, but it still costs the same every time we move somewhere, so it was an extra expense for my clients, and nobody balked at it. Everybody's excited about it, so it's just something new that we're doing, and it's a nice opportunity.
We see the opening week of the meet, 5 of the 6 days, the temperature forecasted highs will be in the 80s. I'm just going to tell you, we get that every year at Colonial. Hopefully it stays that way through the whole meet. Well, Michelle, thanks for spending some time. Go ahead.
No, that's good. I was really excited because it's been pretty hot here, and we haven't escaped any heat, that's for sure. And when I saw the first 3 days of the meet, the temperatures are going to be a bit lower. I was like, that is just so awesome. So, yeah, hopefully we'll get a break, on race days at least. So, yeah, it was nice to see.
Good for fans, good for horses, good for everybody. Michelle, thanks for spending some time with us. Can't wait to see you more on the backstretch and hopefully in the winter circle as well.
Thank you so much, Nick. I appreciate it.
Michelle Lovell joining us on Off to the Races this morning. So a little bit of a blitz. Tried to catch up with Ferris Allen, as it turned out. As things happen, hopefully he's not dealing with an equine issue or something, but just could not connect this morning. We'll certainly bring him back later on in the show. He is the seven-time leading trainer at Colonial Downs, and I think still the all-time winningest trainer in Colonial's history. Of course, local out of Verina, Virginia, that bred and had Miraclewood in the Preakness back in the 90s. So we'll catch up with Ferris, I'm sure, later on in the meet. Want to reach out to Derby Bill Watson, who we have reached the handicapping segment of the show, and Derby Bill has sent me some picks already for the next picks tip sheet. You can get on the racingbiz.com. We hope to have that up Sunday, sometime tomorrow. Done the picks and just kind of putting the rest of the next picks tip sheet together. But Derby Bill, this slate, first day, second day, you can hear me going through the pages. 9 races each day, close to 14 horses in many of the fields slated. It stakes racing, Colonial has got an ideal week in front of them, don't they?
Well, it's the Commonwealth Festival. Kentucky's dumped a ton of good horses into the Commonwealth of Virginia by closing their track for next year's. Be a little bit different. We won't have as many Kentucky horses here from Churchill. So take advantage of it this year. There's going to be some big fields, like you said, and big payouts. The tote board light bulb changer will be needed every day.
Yeah, we hope so. We like to see those big prices, especially when we pick them. Let's start. Let's go back to Monmouth today, where they have the Haskell Stakes, a 7-horse field. I really like Mandaloon in this race. I've liked this horse all the way through the spring and even in the Triple Crown a little bit. Have used them in exotics, but the morning line is awarded favorite status to Hot Rod Charlie, and then you, of course, one of your favorites, Midnight Bourbon, if only by name, I'm sure, has your attention. What are your thoughts on the Haskell today? It's a $1 million race that kind of kicks off the fall segment of 3-year-old racing.
It's definitely the class race of the day, obviously, with the two Triple Crown fever here with Hot Rod Charlie and Mandaloon getting all the money. And as you said, I like my Midnight Bourbon because he's well rested. And these front two, Hot Rod Charlie, I liked in the up front, and I liked obviously the other one, Mandaloon, up front. But I think I'm gonna take Midnight Bourbon. Obviously, 5 to 1, or probably drift higher. So I like the price on Midnight Bourbon. I just can't bet Hot Rod Charlie at even money. So I'm going to try Midnight Bourbon and just enjoy that race.
We've seen a couple surprise appearances already at Colonial Downs, either in person when By My Standards walked by this morning, and or even on the shed row where I saw Long Range Toddy out of the Triple Crown. He's there in Dallas Stewart's shed row. And then on paper we saw Florent Giroux, who rides Arklow today in the United Nations, 1.5 miles. This is just his dominating distance, and Giroux knows how to deliver wins for trainer Bob Cox. Donegal Racing, who we know from Patio Prado back in the day, is the owner of Arklow. Does at 8 to 5, is he threatened today?
And not a price anybody likes if of a handicapper level, but Arklow's 7-year-old going for his third straight stakes win. Florent Giroux and up, and as you mentioned, he's heading to Colonial Downs. Also, Paco Lopez will be flying in with him or riding the Amtrak if they don't do so well. If they don't do well at the Mammoth today, maybe they'll get on the Amtrak and come on down to New Kent. Serve McKeon is number 3 horse there at 8 to 1 with Paco up. So I'm going to try a straight exact Arklow and Serve McKinney with Paco Lopez up, and maybe they can share a cheesesteak on their way down to New Kent.
Yeah, but that would be a sight to see. Well, let's turn down here where we at Colonial Downs. The first stakes race on the card is the Nellie Mae Cox, and this has attracted 11 in this field. Assume is a horse ridden by Michael Sanchez, who actually won Colonial's first race in their return to racing back in 2019. Tasting the Stars ran, however, in the Virginia Oaks and has a recent win at Laurel coming into this race. Not so recent, winning the Brook Mead last year. Very similar race to this condition. What are your thoughts on the Nellie Mae Cox?
Well, as Karen Gossi said before you made her cry, this is a restricted Virginia race, so that eliminates the open competition here, but it doesn't eliminate the competition. It starts a daily double with the Nellie Cox and the Bert Allen, a nice early daily double to start the meet. Usually don't see that 2 stakes on opening day early in the card. I got bombs in this one, Nick. I got stunners for your tip sheet. Secret of Not 20 to 1. Not My Money. Caramanis up 20 to 1. I got more 20 to 1s than I do the favorites in the opener. So I'm gonna have to use some of your money and go deep in the daily double to start the meet with. Also looking at Mr. Stedman, and I'm sure he was shook up today with Mystic Guide heading to surgery, just like Derby Bill this week. So, best wishes to both Mystic Guide and Derby Bill in that order. Obviously, Mystic Guide first, and then Derby Bill.
Yeah. Well, good luck on yours there too, as well. Let's reach out next to the Bert Allen Stakes. This is 1 mile and a 16th on the turf. This has a field of 7, including Chess Chief, who is the favorite. Florent Giroux gets that one. Tell us about, I think he's 7 to 5 in the morning line, if I remember right. This is a horse that wins every time he doesn't face Maxfield. What do you think about Chess Chief?
Oh, you got Florent Giroux up here. I think 9 to 5's morning line. Very generous price there. You're not going to get that. It'll be down to 3 to 5 by post. Chess Chief's heading to bigger and better things out Pacific Classic or something. Wherever he can target him a higher level if he wins this one easily. Passion Play, I like a little bit. Mary Epler. It's long sent some good ones down to Colonial Downs, and a nice stakes run at Laurel, a couple back, and a great Turf's record at Delaware. And Price, 10 to 1. So that one, and For Love of Country. Who doesn't love your country? And it's 3-1 though. So I'm using Chess Chief on top in the back of the double with the Nellie Fox coming into this race. So, and probably the best field in the Burt Allen Stakes ever, and Burt Allen would be very proud of this field.
Yeah, Jerry Hollendorfer was a name that showed up in this with Reconvene, one of 2 Lazy Lane horses that you mentioned of Love of Country. Chess Chief, however, though, this is the first time on the turf, so it'll be interesting if how this horse reacts to it as a 5-year-old, but should win here. In the Meadow Stable, which comes after that, this is a 14-horse field. There's Boulder, there's Kenny Had a Notion, there's So Street, there's Gale Wins, Elusive Mischief. What are your thoughts?
Gather your coins and take them down there. I think Colonial Downs gives you $5 if you bring your coins and dump them in a machine. They'll give you a $5 token, and you'll need it on this one. This is a classic Colonial Downs, 14 on the turf, barring any scratches or anything. Boulder's very solid horse, a 5-1. The favorite in this race will be 5-1 or more. Definitely the best betting stakes race at the meet here. War Tie Toscan, 10-1. I like Boulder and Garfield, but they're all intertwine them, and this is the one you want to use your boxes with. Exacta box, trifecta box, superfecta box. This one's going to light the tote board, Nick. This one's amazing. The winner is the 5-1 or more easy.
Yeah, I think so. And then finally, just real quickly, want to give out to Tyson Gilpin, the 8th race, 5.5 furlongs on the turf, 14 horses as well. I like Street Loot in this race and as the favorite, but there are plenty. If you don't get a price, you might get it in the Gilpin. Quick pick here.
Yeah, Street Loot's almost as sure thing as Toby Keith at the Meadow Farm tonight.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we agree on the favorite there. Well, thanks, Derby Bill. Good luck, and good luck opening day.
It's all fun. Everybody enjoy themselves. Big money.
Great. That does it for Off to the Races. Next week, we'll recap the results. Look for the Nick's Picks tip sheet. Want to thank Daryl Wood, Frank Vespi, John Himes, Michael Stidham, Derby Bill Watson, Michelle Lovell, and Karen Dennehy-Godsey of Eagle Point Farm, all on Off to the Races this morning. We'll have plenty more recapping and handicapping. Come on out if you have the opportunity. We'll see you next week. Off to the Races, 10 o'clock post time.